the only thing people are wanting from this match is a Big E return. If it don't happen, they'll get booed out of the building. Just make it a ladder match.
Why?
Because
it doesn't need to be a ladder match.
So this is on the cards, but the SmackDown Tag Team titles aren't. Who do you think's winning that?
Welcome to the CodeBreaker. My name is Ben.
My name's Alfie.
We're two brothers sharing one love.
Wrestling.
That was cringe, wasn't it? Now listen, it's fun and games, man. Listen, I'm an avid wrestling fan. Been watching since like the late 80s, 90s, late 90s.
You look like you was born in the 70s.
I feel like it as well with you. I've been watching wrestling best part of 25 years. Caught up on a lot of old stuff as well. My knowledge is pretty decent, I'd like to think, especially considering I'm in the UK. Stopped watching around 2010, which is when Alfie discovered his love.
Not quite 2010. I started watching precise episodes. The episode when the Shield broke up because our other brother ran into my room and started saying about how the Shield had just broke up, and I was like, "Who the fuck is that?
Who the Shield? Who's the Shield?" But basically, look, we're two brothers, aren't we? We want to have a bit of fun. We talk about wrestling a lot.
We have two different perspectives.
Very different perspectives. I'm a bit more old, miserable. When
you were watching my wrestling when I was growing up, obviously you was like my age now. I'm 21. How old are you now?
I'm a bit older, in my 30s.
So when I was seeing Roman Reigns and that grow up, I was like, I like Roman Reigns. You must have hated
him. Despised him.
I love John Cena.
I like John Cena.
Oh, okay.
I've always been a fan of Cena's work ethic.
Yeah.
Whether his original, I saw Cena back in 2003 when he came in as a heel. Like it was there before. But
Word life.
Yes, exactly. Doctor of Thugonomics, and he was wicked. But it was evident then, WrestleMania 20 when he won the US from Big Show. Yeah.
Wow.
So you're talking 21 years later, and he's still in the main event.
Wow.
It just shows how valuable and how good he is for the industry. Reigns, he's good now. He was woeful, but like, before we tap in, what we're doing here is effectively running down every week, every Saturday. We're going to be breaking down SmackDown, talking about current wrestling affairs, news, rumours, having a bit of fun as well. I'm going to try and teach Alfie a bit about the history of wrestling.
Yeah, I know nothing.
Nothing. I was shocked that he didn't even know about. Well, he knows of Montreal Screwjob, things like this.
I haven't even seen Booker T versus Stone Cold
in the show. See,
I know of like stuff that's happened just for like general knowledge.
But you've not seen it.
Yeah.
Right? So there'll be a couple of segments on this podcast every week, mainly This Week in Wrestling History, where we're going to touch on something that happened, in the past. Today we're going to be talking about TNA Lockdown 2009, in which the main event, the premise of Lockdown in TNA, every single match is inside a steel cage. But there's different variations of, right? So you'd have Lethal Lockdown, which is like a kind of like a War Games premise. But the main event of that, bear in mind it's 2009, was Sting, current TNA World Heavyweight Champion.
Jesus.
Taking on Mick Foley.
Oh, wow.
He probably must have been, 42, 43, even 44. But a man who's dedicated his body to the industry. And he was broken, but still putting in a fucking shift. He had, however, been retired for, best part of a decade or so. Like, he had a few matches here and there, but TNA, we'll talk about that as one of the segments.
I know 3 things about TNA. The fact it's got a different ring. I know Jeff Hardy turned up drunk once, and that's it, actually.
2 things. But that's stuff. Like I said, we will. My goal is to teach Alfie that. This week in wrestling history, and other stuff as well. We'll have a fun segment, Break the Code. Obviously we're the Code Breakers. Nod on Jericho, who both of us have grown up watching. Yeah. We're both aware of Chris Jericho in different eras. Continues to grow, big fan. But Break the Code will be an opportunity for fans, if we get them, to basically answer questions and just be a bit more interactive with us as well.
But we should probably get into what they've come here for. SmackDown.
SmackDown.
Good Christ.
Yeah, what a load of crap, right?
It was...
the final SmackDown before WrestleMania.
The go-home show. The
go home
show for WrestleMania. There was one segment, maybe two I liked. But it started with the Rollins promo.
Great segment.
It was good. It added to the story. It's one of the only good stories leading into Mania.
The triple threat.
The triple threat. Don't know why Punk and Reigns just decided to no-show on the go-home show. Rollins has been...
And Heyman, for that matter.
And Heyman.
Like, even a Rollins-Heyman segment could have worked.
I don't get, for a go-home show, you want to build as much hype as possible.
Yeah.
You should be getting everyone on that show.
Everybody.
Face-to-face. A brawl maybe.
Fight.
Just something.
Story development.
Yeah.
That's what you need.
Because this is just, once again, Seth Rollins carrying the feud, which he's been doing the entire time. Him and Paul Heyman have done everything.
And Punk. And Reigns as well, to a certain extent.
They've been fine, but they haven't added what Rollins and Heyman have added. Without Heyman in the story, it's just a bit... And Rollins, over recent weeks, the character, he started leaning away from...
from the theatrical stuff, the over-the-top outfits.
He feels a bit more like the Architect back in 2015, or even when he was teaming up with Buddy Murphy and all of that, like the God Messiah gimmick.
Buddy Murphy.
Is it Buddy Murphy?
Who's Buddy Murphy?
You know Buddy Murphy. Of course you know. He's the one with Rhea Ripley in real life.
He's in AEW.
He was with AOP as well. As Rollins, he was doing this whole lot.
Yes, this is when I didn't watch too much.
Fez.
So I don't remember Buddy Murphy teaming up with Seth Rollins.
I liked the fact he was sitting on the floor like it was a pipe bomb.
That was a good touch. This is the thing. I think with Rollins, he has solidified himself as like the ultimate workhorse, right?
Yeah.
And he can take and do anything and make it work.
Yeah.
Without being the main guy, sort of thing.
He will be here when both of them are gone.
Yeah, I agree. Because, Reigns has already said recently that his contract's up in a year or two. So Reigns' contract, when that's over, he wants to then go full-time into acting.
I've heard about this, because he said after the contract's up, is it a 1 or 2 year contract left, or did he say it's over after 42 and then he's only wanting to
I don't know, I didn't read it enough.
I'm pretty sure his contract's up after 42. He wants to sign a new one for a 2-year deal.
Oh, okay.
I think 44 will be his last, mate.
How old is he now? 40?
He's got a push on. And grades are starting to come through, aren't they?
Punk, I can still see Punk having a few more years, because he would want that title run.
Well, the rumour was when he signed with WWE, it was a 3-year contract. So I'd imagine he would maybe extend it.
But he missed a year through injury.
Exactly. So I think he might extend it.
Providing he stays fit, because I think he's redeemed himself. Like, Punk, clearly I'm a fan of his T-shirt, but he is, or was, a massive arsehole. Even in AEW, with all the shit with...
Depends what story you believe.
With Jack Perry. Yeah, exactly. Let's take the flip side of the coin. But he's a bit of a dick. He's a bit arrogant. And whether that... I don't know if that's the right way to say it, actually, because I really like Punk. And I remember hearing stories of him back in 2006, or even before, when he was in like developmental with Paul Heyman in OVW.
Yeah.
And Heyman used to say... Well, he's given like interviews and stories on how Punk would stay behind, and just work on like character development, story development, and stuff like that. That's what you want. Right? You want to see people hungry, and I think now he's got that hunger back, and it shows. You know, and he can't go in the ring as well, which is not. But what he's added to this main event of night 1, not night 2. Is massive.
Apologies for interrupting your viewing experience, but this is only going to take a few seconds. If you want more exclusive content, behind the scenes footage, and live reactions to wrestling content, then head over to patreon.com/the CodeBreakers. You'll be able to see me react to old wrestling content pre-2014 because genuinely, I've barely seen a thing. Behind the scenes footage for when we film podcasts such as this, and any bloopers or extra content we decide to post on there. Our lowest membership is only $3 a month, so it's less than a coffee. All you've got to do is sacrifice one coffee a month to get a plethora of new wrestling content. Sounds like a good deal to me. Anyway, if you want to show us some more love, then please head over to patreon.com/the CodeBreakers, but I'll let you get back to the video. Do you think that if CM Punk wasn't in this main event, that Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins would main event the show?
Nah. Maybe.
I don't know, because the way I see it, it just seems... It's the weakest Mania main event.
No, not at all.
It is.
Not at all.
WrestleMania 36, Styles Taker.
The cinematic COVID one.
Yep.
Good.
And you had the Drew, even though Drew Brock wasn't a good match because it was just a finisher fest, still a bigger stakes match. 37, I really like the Belair Sasha Banks one. You had the triple threat with Bryan and Edge. Fantastic. One of my favourite main events.
Daniel Bryan.
One of my favourite main events of all time. Genuinely.
Fair enough.
38, Brock and Reigns. And then we had Kevin Owens and Steve Austin.
Great match. Great match. Great comeback for us.
39, Usos and Zayn and Owens.
Yeah.
And then Cody, Reigns.
Yeah, tag
twice.
match last year. Yeah.
And then you had the one with The Rock. Like, I think it's the weakest we've had.
I disagree though, man.
What's weaker? Which match of them
is
weaker?
The Bryan triple threat for a start.
No, it's not.
Listen, in terms of story, this is better. This is... I'm not a fan of modern wrestling as much as...
I would like it if it was for a title.
It don't need to be for a title. It's for Paul Heyman, mate. Let me explain to you why this is the main event. Right? Because something is going to happen. Yeah?
Okay.
So if you open with it, you're going to suck the wind out of the crowd early because you're going to have something mega. Whether that's Rollins turning and siding with Heyman.
Yeah.
Or having Rollins and Reigns just reunite a variation of the Shield. Or if you have far-fetched, but Brock coming back. Right? Which could happen. It fucking could. I know everyone's adamant it won't, but it's a potential.
What if Paul Heyman just walks out?
Paul Heyman could just walk out and say, look, I've had enough of you all. You're all arseholes. You could even have them all fucking start shaking hands in the ring and become a trio, a new Shield. You know what I mean? Like, because didn't CM Punk bring in the Shield originally?
Yeah.
That we could have that. Ambrose could rock it. That'd be
Do you know which would make this as fantasy booking a bit, which would make it perfect? Mox.
If he turned up, then listen.
Punk.
But this is my point. This is why it has to be the main event because we've still got tomorrow night 2. You need fans to get so excited about what could come, and having a big moment to close that show will keep the hype around Mania on night 1. Right?
I'm not saying I don't like the match. I'm saying I wouldn't have made the match.
But where else? Where would it? What would you do?
For me, Gunther's title reign has been lackluster. I would have just taken the title off him at Rumble, put it on Rollins. Rollins versus Punk for the title for me. Let's say Rollins beat Gunther because he was like, I'm not allowing Punk to get this title. Punk wins the Royal Rumble.
That could have worked.
It was such a more enthralling story than.
Good word, enthralling.
Thank you. And just a triple threat, I'm
looking
disagree.
Forward to it. Yeah,
but I think it's the
you've answered your own question. Yeah, and it's good. The Rollins promo on SmackDown was good. We touched on that. It's a good promo.
What do you think about the Charlotte Flair, Tiffany Stratton?
Load of shit. Man, trust me. Right, I'm not... Listen, let us know in the comments here, right? Your thoughts on Charlotte Flair. Just fuck off, right? Because, listen, if you want to talk about people not deserving main events or whatever, or titles or whatever, Charlotte fucking Flair does not deserve on name premise. Because that's the only reason she's there. Because of her name.
She got into the...
Sorry, go on.
Yeah, go on.
No, well, the idea is obviously Charlotte, Tiffany's kind of the new blonde fucking bombshell. I don't know, right? The promos have been relatively okay. You know, that whole sliding in my DMs and all that bollocks was just silly. The attacks from Charlotte, and having Wade Barrett sort of push her, I thought was great. Mm-hmm. The match will be okay, but there's just so much more. But then it depends. Look, we will touch on Mania predictions. If Stratton wins, then it makes the story great. And it works. If Charlotte fucking Flair walks out with that title at Mania... What night is it on?
I don't know. I think it's on night 2.
Good. If she walks out with
I
that...
think it will open. And I think she'll win.
If she does, then that's it for me. That's it. And I will... I just... What am I going to do? I'm still going to be a fan, innit?
Do you remember the WrestleMania 35 main event? It should have been Ronda Rousey versus Becky Lynch.
Oh, what? Did she worm her way in?
Yeah, because she's Charlotte Flair.
Oh, she did, yeah.
I must admit, there's a lot of online hate towards her, personal stuff that I don't agree with.
The personal stuff, yes, very unfair. And I'm sure she is a lovely woman.
But
as a character.
What I will say she might be. I don't know how people felt about Reigns in 2015. She's my version of that. I cannot stand, but I think she has the worst character in the women's division because she has no character.
I agree.
She's just a woman with a last name called Flair, who's really good in the ring,
riding on
one of the best women wrestlers in the ring.
Yeah, agreed.
But they could have made her such a big superstar. But she doesn't have a character.
She does. Her character is like excellence. I'm the best, you know. But
okay, her character hasn't changed.
Yeah. There's been no development since 10 years ago. Right, in the women's revolution.
Since she came in, she's been the same character. She's been she's been face, she's been heel.
If you want to, listen. The match would be good. She doesn't deserve to be there. It is what it is. If she wins, fuck.
There's reports that she's got some backstage heat.
With whom?
With management, because of the original interview they did where she just went in on Stratton.
Oh yeah. I heard this.
And then went off script again with the other promo. I wonder if they were planning for her to win and then do like a comeback for Stratton at next year's Mania or SummerSlam. And I wonder if they're not going to do that now because they've.
Well, I think in terms of building Stratton. As a next big, because she's still learning.
She's been champ a couple months.
Yeah, and listen, this is big opportunity for her to prove she can sort of hold her own. Charlotte will help with that. Like in terms of the in-ring match, Charlotte, she knows what she's doing and she will help Stratton. But this is a big opportunity, and I think if they don't allow Stratton to win, they're going to completely destroy the build that they've created for her.
Well, there's 3 things that are guaranteed in life:
death,
taxes,
and Charlotte fucking Flair winning the title.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. But, like I said, we'll touch on our own predictions later. If you want to talk about characters and people who just ain't working, let's talk Andre the Giant Battle Royal. Right, as a whole, the gimmick match. Shit.
Is this going to happen on the kickoff?
No, it's already happened on SmackDown.
Oh, sorry. Game 7, I mean.
What's Game 7?
So, you know about the Andrade Carmelo Hayes stuff, right? About, like, they had like 6 game matches. They had like a battle of 7 series.
Yeah, best of 7. Yeah.
A best of 7, and LA Knight like interrupted the 7th. I saw on SmackDown everyone was like, "Oh, this is Game 7. This is Game 7." Poo.
Well,
poo.
I don't know. Look, let's just focus on that Battle Royal. What we watched. Oh, come on,
it's
boring. There's one person in that Battle Royal who stood out for me early on. R-Truth. I'm serious. R-Truth has been slogging his balls for. You don't know about R-Truth in NWA TNA, the early days of TNA 2002, right? He was the world champ. He was the man. He was wicked. Quick in WWF before that, right? He came back and he's done everything. He's been the comedic act.
Yeah.
People are overlooking. Well, they don't overlook. I shouldn't say that because we all know it. On the mic, in the ring, he is brilliant. Like brilliant. And he's getting old. He deserves one serious. 50, he deserves a serious run. One serious run. Turn him heel.
He's a comedy character.
Yeah, I know, but I don't know. It just irks me because his aura is good, right? I know they gave him the tag titles with the Miz and blah blah blah. They tried it didn't work. Fine, yeah. Give him one serious run. Let him turn heel and win that title from LA Knight. Trust me, fans will love it. Let me know, because I genuinely think that would be a good option.
There's one thing that made me sad, and it was seeing Shinsuke Nakamura in it.
He needs to go now.
Do you remember when he came back and he beat LA Knight for the title and he had that cool
the
music, the style, and I was like, this is cool.
It was good.
But in my head, I was just thinking like, this ain't gonna last.
Nah, and it never does. Never does. We've had this a few times.
But it's a shame because do you remember when he faced Styles at Mania? Like killed his career.
Anticlimactic. Did he turn heel on him after?
Yeah, he
did.
Kicked him in the balls. And then Vince done that whole thing where it's just their feud was just kicking each other in the nuts. They had that backlash match where they both kicked each other in the nuts, and the match just ended.
See, stuff like that I struggle with watching, and it annoys me. Like that's what makes me miss proper old school sports entertainment. But
speaking about missing, the tag team match for the SmackDown tag titles.
See, you don't agree with it being next week, do you?
I hate it. I think in terms of what they've built up, you can't have the New Day versus the War Raiders. I've heard rumours of Big E's coming back, and that's why it's on Mania.
We won't talk about that.
Yeah. the fact that you've built up a SmackDown division, which was dead in the water, and you've actually made really good teams. You've got DIY, you've got the Street Profits, who are great. Yep, Motor City Machine Guns.
Even Pretty Deadly.
I
like Pretty Deadly. I hated their whole gimmick on SmackDown at first.
But they've done really good work.
Well, yeah,
and
they do.
In my opinion, I think a lot of people share the opinion online. I thought they would build into a multi-man ladder match.
Yeah.
We don't have one at Mania.
We don't need one though. It's a gimmick, right? And it
is a gimmick.
The thing is, this is the thing, is nothing appeals, nothing pleases, because if you do it again, people will complain again. Oh, no, they will.
No, because this time it made sense. Because they kept costing each other. There was a story with everyone.
Yeah, I get it. But
mate, even just Street Profits versus DIY in a TLC match, you're not telling me that's worse than New Day or...
Is it just Street...
It's just them two.
Oh, I thought it was all three. I thought MCMG was in it as well.
I don't think so.
I thought they were going for a triple threat.
No, I'm pretty sure it's just a one-on-one. I'll have to check that up.
Yeah, definitely. We'll look into that because that...
But, okay, even if it was a triple threat, you're not telling me that's worse than New Day versus War Raiders. Or El Grande.
Yeah, but again, I think going back to the... Well, no, we'll talk about that on WrestleMania High. Or actually, even on the SmackDown bit. But it goes back to what I was saying about the triple threat. There's something that's going to happen with the War Raiders and New Day that makes it...
Could you imagine, though, if it's just New Day with the title and walk out?
Yeah, it very well could be, and then it builds for the Raw the next night. But there's a reason, what I've learned from wrestling recent, is Triple H has a very, very good hold, and he knows what he's doing. Last year's Mania, people were kicking off about Cody and Reigns.
Yeah.
Right, remember?
Yeah.
The match and what had happened. And The Rock's involvement.
Yeah. And
it became one of the most talked about in a positive way for a fucking long time. With Undertaker coming in, Cena and all the story. Let's just let Triple H cook, right? Mania will be good.
The difference is that was fixed within a week.
Yeah.
What's happened, even just take the New Day, one of the best heel turns of all time, It was amazing.
It was a good double heel, yeah.
They have done nothing since.
I can't say of all time.
I've said one of. It's one of the best heel turns I've seen, because I didn't expect it. They were leading it up to they was going to turn on each other.
Well, when we start doing the teaching you about history, I'll show you Hulk Hogan's heel turn from Bash at the Beach. We'll do that next week, all right? And then, actually, you guys comment. If you can think of some big heel turns of past, present, let us know. And I'll show Alfie, and we'll teach him.
Yeah, I've barely seen any wrestling before 2014. I've seen, clips. But there's a lot.
Not good enough.
There's a lot I've missed. I've probably watched 5%, if that.
Exactly. So, Andre the Giant Battle Royal, a flop, we can agree on.
Yeah.
Rollins promo.
Good,
but not great for the story.
Stratton Flair.
Pretty good.
I found it
Women's title.
Going back to Stratton Flair quickly.
Oh, sorry, man.
I found it interesting that they didn't have them interact.
Yeah, but they did two separate promos, didn't they?
Do you not think that's a bit like... I reckon there's heat between them.
Possibly.
I don't know if you remember the match, but Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch took on the Kabuki Warriors at TLC, I want to say 2019, right? Or 2018.
I wasn't watching that.
Kairi Sane messed up one of Charlotte Flair's moves, and then throughout the match, you could literally see Charlotte Flair battering.
Yeah, but I like stuff like that, man. If you get a receipt in a mid-match, middle of the match is perfect.
She does it to a lot of people.
Well, let's see. Night 2, is it? Maybe.
Yeah.
That'll be a good match. Women's title, triple threat again. That's going to be good. Decent.
My most hyped match for the card.
Yeah, I think... I know a lot of people was a little bit about Rhea being involved or also taking the title off her, but Io Sky has proved that she belongs... Well, she deserves to be one of the main women.
I like the story they're telling as well. Is it they're pushing her to the back of the Bianca versus Rhea feud?
Yeah.
Not to spoil anything for predictions.
I think Io Sky is wicked, and I think as an all-rounder, she's probably better than Asuka.
One of the best entrances. I love her entrance.
Yeah. I mean, I usually skip entrances when I'm watching. But Mania, she's going to have something big with the title. It's a decent enough segment on SmackDown. Naomi, Jade. You get cut 2 stories in one, I guess.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to Naomi Jade.
And Io Sky stood tall as well, which is important. You need your champ.
Naomi, in terms of a heel turn,
I think it's worked. I think it's been good. Yeah, definitely.
I'm looking forward to what she does.
Even on like X and like social media, she's portraying that heel beautifully.
Yeah.
Because I saw something with her and Jade Cargill, where she was like talking about her ass or something, and she was like, the only ass like getting slapped is by Big Jim or something like that.
Yeah.
And it was great. And then Jade had responded like, WWE, check this out. That's really. Like in this day and age, you need to use social media to keep your heel turn or face of character going. Right?
If there was ever to do like Bloodline versus Bloodline again, I'd love to see a team up with Jacob Fatu.
Yeah,
be like a heel faction.
Yeah.
Getting Jimmy's heads.
Jimmy, Jacob, and The Rock.
But
and Naomi.
Something else happened on the show, which we both hope isn't true. Rey Mysterio getting injured.
Yeah, but it's opportunity for maybe Chad Gable to step up and face El Grande Americano.
I hope it's not an injury, because I think if he is injured, I think it might get cut.
Nah, I don't think they'll drop it. Maybe they'll put the TLC on. Then you can be happy, can't you?
I would be very happy.
I think if he's injured, Ray Phoenix.
Yeah.
Or even Dragon Lee steps in.
I think they'd put Phoenix on.
I like the story they've done with El Grande Americano, taking out the luchadors and whatever.
It's a good story.
It's good. It's going to come. We'll do this again on the Mania prediction shortly, but that'd be a decent match.
Quick thoughts on Priest versus McIntyre.
I fucking hate Priest. I hate him.
Why was there no interaction? It was boring.
Same, but this is the thing. SmackDown and Raw, especially since European tour, has been flat.
I think the European tour covered it.
Too many weeks between Chamber and Mania. That's the problem, and since the Rumble, when the build to WrestleMania is,
we've been building this for over 4 months.
Nearly, yeah. I think Rumble was 1st of Feb.
Was it 1st of Feb?
Yeah, it was late. First one in February, I believe.
Bloody hell!
But you're talking 2 months, 2.5 months of build, which is hard when you've got so many stories. But in the past, we didn't have these issues. Every story on that card mattered, and we got awesome promo videos for each because of the content that were there.
Orton announced he's having a match at Mania, kind of.
Yeah, and again, Mania predictions, we will touch on that. There's a decent enough promo.
I'm glad he's getting a match.
Decent enough, but
I'm glad he's getting a match.
Orton is my GOAT.
As long as he better win. Whoever it is, he better win, because he needs it. Because he's lost.
Penzu comes back.
Did you see that stat? I don't know if it's changed because he got injured, but he hasn't won a pay-per-view match for like years.
Oh, what?
Yeah, like years. Because ever since he came back at Mania, lost to.
No, he had War Games.
That don't count. No,
you mean a one-on-one?
I think it's a one-on-one, because,
okay.
or just like something where he's on his own, so like no tag team partner. Because he lost to Logan Paul, and then he had that whole thing with the bloodline where it just kept losing. And obviously Owens just.
It's an interesting stat, I guess. What else was on SmackDown?
Cena and Cody Rhodes.
The main event.
Yes.
The big boy, the great segment.
Yes.
That, I'll let you lead on this one, actually.
It worried me at the start when the crowd were booing Rhodes. I think it's just because I think people start to like Cena as a heel, as you would, because it's like...
Greatest of all time, really, isn't it?
Yeah. And the way Cody turned the promo around, got the whole crowd cheering for him. I think there's been a lot of controversy about, like, they weren't letting Cody go against Cena on the mic for weeks.
Yeah, but no, I think it's the other way around. They weren't letting Cena go on Cody.
Yeah.
Because how good Cena can be.
I would say their mic interactions, their promos that they've had for each other, Cody has done him in.
Yeah,
I think they're both really good.
Well, I think the story that we're told was good. In Cena didn't even want to acknowledge Cody.
Yeah.
Right, so if you remember on Raw, like the first couple of times I went face-to-face on Raw, Cody came out, give a big speech.
He just walked out.
Cena just left. And I was like, that's good, man. That's proper heel work, and it works. Goes completely with what Cena's been saying. Anti-fans, he's just for himself now.
Yeah.
Then you get Cena coming back a little bit, slowly building it up.
Yep.
And the promo on SmackDown, I thought was great, because it was Cena rinsing Rhodes. There was a couple of moments there when I thought to myself, like, do you know what? Like, I thought to myself, do you know what? Cena's he's gonna batter him here. Like, on the mic, I mean. I was thinking, this is fucked. When Cody came back, even I was on the edge of my seat for a minute. Like when he was like, he went in hard when he was like talking about calling like sanctimonious and saying it's 2025 and you still can't wrestle.
Which promo do you think was better? Their previous one?
No, this was the best promo they've had.
I preferred their previous one just a little bit more.
I think Cody really stood out in this promo. And the fact that he came out on top. Let's not talk about how stupid it is that Cena's like that on the mat after one crossroads.
Yeah.
But the fact that Cena attacked and Cody came out on top, I thought was brilliant.
Because I don't know if I'm misremembering this, but didn't Cody hit Logan Paul with 3 crossroads?
Yeah.
And Cena's done after one.
After one.
I get he's old and stuff,
yeah,
but if you portray him as the greatest of all time...
Well, this is why I'm a bit confused. I don't know what the story is. I can't figure out... I know what it is. Like, Rhodes is the main babyface now. Cena is the old babyface who's turned against everyone because, you know, they disrespected him.
Yeah.
I like the promo Cena gave on you, like when I didn't think I could beat you, but then when you gave Rock your decision, I knew I can beat you and I'm going to beat you. And I genuinely don't know who could win. I know we've ran a poll on our Facebook, so thank you for everybody who's voted, but the majority is with Cena winning. But there's still a decent, healthy amount who believe Rhodes will win.
I think, because obviously predictions, we're going to get into it later, I think they've done a good job of having 2 outcomes. So, when Cena was a face, I liked the idea of him keep getting these opportunities and stumbling. And I'd have liked for it, if he was a face, to get right to the end, December 31st, last match, one more shot. And I would have liked him to win it if he was a babyface.
Yeah, it would have been alright.
But I think because he's a heel, I think there's going to be interference in the match.
100%. It's going to be a cluster. You know what a clusterfuck is?
Yeah.
It's going to be a clusterfuck.
One thing I didn't like, and they finally mentioned it, The Rock hasn't been mentioned up until now.
Yeah, good.
Do you think that's a good thing?
Yeah.
Because what's the point of having The Rock be there and be this like big looming threat over Cody if you're not going to mention
Because he's not the threat anymore, is he?
He is the threat.
Not anymore.
No, but he is the threat because Cena's turned heel for The Rock. And for himself.
Is it for The Rock?
No, but it's for himself.
The Rock's... He's not part of a faction with The Rock.
No, but
The Rock's almost shown in the way.
The Rock had an impact on the one, if not the biggest thing that's happened in wrestling in the last decade with Cena's heel turn.
Yeah.
Yeah. And not having him mentioned is weird up until now.
I don't think so, because the focus has to be on Cena. Has to be on Rhodes. But there we go. But ultimately, out of 10, SmackDown.
5.
Yeah, 3.
For a go home, as a SmackDown, 8.
Yeah, and now normal episode, great.
Yeah.
But for the go home,
I'd say 5 because it's like got me a little bit excited for certain things and everything else. TLC.
It hasn't further developed my excitement for any matches on WrestleMania.
And I don't think anything has.
No, in the past 3 weeks.
The only thing that's excited me and I think progressed the feud on was Jay versus Gunther when Gunther just killed Jimmy Uso.
Yeah,
that is the only thing recently that's made me a bit more like,
I kind of enjoyed the women's stuff, the women's title stuff, with Io Sky taking out everyone.
But nothing's really changed, isn't
it? It hasn't. That's what I mean. There's nothing that's like I remember way back when Cena and JBL leading into Mania 21, and it wasn't like that wasn't the main match because you had Triple H and Batista headlining, but the build on SmackDown. To that, I remember. I can't remember if it was exactly for Mania. Actually, I might be wrong, but the build at some point was JBL basically wasn't allowed to hit Cena, otherwise he loses his title shot. Yeah, and Cena would just goad him, and he'd be pouring shit into his hat, cutting his tie, and all of this like goad him into hitting him and all of that. I think it was unless Cena hit JBL first or something. But that's the kind of build that you don't get these days. You don't get that kind of story.
I've got a question.
Oh.
Who do you think, not better at running the company, who do you think builds the better Manias? Triple H, because what's Triple H had? 39, 40, 41, yeah? Mm-hmm. And Vince had all of the previous. Who do you think builds it better? And I'm not talking about the show itself.
I knew you was going to say that, not the show. I think the build Vince The show Triple H all day long.
Because I think the build for last year's Mania with The Rock and Cody is the best ever.
But it's kind of difficult as well because the question you asked, like, you're talking different eras, yeah. 90s, 2000, like Ruthless Aggression and Attitude. The fans just fucking loved anything. Wrestling was the hottest thing in the world. So the build's easy.
Let's do like 30
but if you go,
onwards.
Yeah, if you go from, well, when
let's do WrestleMania 30.
I kind of watch every Mania, but I've not seen the build up for a lot of these 30s.
Okay.
So I wouldn't be able to say, but I'd say like the last 4.
Yeah.
Well, say Triple H's last couple, and then
Triple H's 3 versus Vince McMahon's last 3. But we won't count the COVID one because
that's what's difficult.
So we'll do 35, 37,
but I didn't watch the
38.
builds for these, so I couldn't give you an answer.
I can give. I think 38 was a bit mid. I would put 38 on the same level of hype that I am hyped for this year's Mania.
Okay.
I think Triple H's 40 is, in my opinion, since I've been watching for hype for Mania since 31, the most hyped I've been for a Mania ever.
For 40?
For 40.
Last year?
For last year's.
It was good.
It was really
and they
really
turned
good.
It around as well, actually, because it was shit.
Yeah, but I think that's why it was, because they sort of made us go here and then just elevate.
And I think they addressed that there was issues, like, to the people.
39, I think a lot of people misremember because the USO stuff was good, but Cody and Reigns had one promo and it was built over 3 weeks. It wasn't actually been built well. And I think in terms of hype for a cards, like WrestleMania 37, I think was more hyped for the fact it was going to have a live audience again, right? But for a show as well, it was good, man. It was really good. And it's just like this Mania, the problem I have with Triple H's Manias, all the matches feel the same. Whereas Vince, you had like 5 live Funhouse matches. Even though it was under COVID, you had a ladder match, you had an Extreme Rules match.
So you like a gimmick match?
Yeah, I like a gimmick.
But there's a street fight. Who's doing the street fight?
McIntyre Priest. That's it. I know there's a lot of multi-man matches.
Yeah, multi-man.
So there's like weapons and stuff involved. But there's not like a even last year's Mania. You had the tag team titles in the ladder match. It's cool. It's cool.
But if you like the gimmick, I appreciate wrestling though. And I think this year we're going to get a lot of good in-ring performances.
Yeah, but I think there's a couple of matches on the card where like...
Well, what would you turn into something different?
Right, the New Day War Raiders.
Yeah.
Just make it a ladder match.
Why?
Because...
It doesn't need to be a ladder match.
No, but just to get you excited for it. Like, if I said to you, what would you rather see? New Day War Raiders or New Day War Raiders in a ladder match?
Listen, I really rate the War Raiders. I think they're both great.
It ain't been built though.
And I think as a match, that's going to take a lot of people by surprise.
Or just like...
But...
What else?
Maybe one of the women's matches.
Charlotte Flair versus Tiffany Stratton. Why is it now not a no holds barred match?
Yeah, or a submission.
Yeah, just
or bra and panties.
just anything, just to get you a bit.
You don't remember the bra and panty matches, do you?
No, I'm a bit too.
At one WrestleMania, I think 22.
Yeah.
They had a Playboy pillow fight.
What do you mean a Playboy pillow fight?
That was a match.
Playboy in terms of like.
So back in the day.
Weinstein Playboy.
You know Playboy magazine.
Yeah.
Back in the day, they a lot of the female talent would do photo shoots with Playboy as well.
Yeah.
And then like you'd get one of them on the cover, and they'd make a big story out of it. Mm-hmm. And I think at that time it might have been Ashley Massaro, rest in peace. I do believe she might be dead now.
Yeah.
Forgive me if I'm wrong. We'll edit that. But they had a Playboy match. It was basically just a bed and it was a pillow. It was in between. It was like the match before the main event to give everyone a chance to go for a piss. Mm-hmm. But yeah, just be grateful that you don't get that shit now. Is all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Wrestling is great now. And the women's.
I'm not saying it's not.
You don't need a gimmick for everything.
Under Triple H, so much better because I actually watch wrestling.
And you don't need a gimmick match to make a match good. That's all I'm saying.
You don't. But if a match is shit with no builds, give it something.
Yeah, but the War Raiders and New Day have a build.
They don't have a build.
They have a build?
No, they have a build of literally like the only thing people are wanting from this match is a Big E return. If it don't happen, they'll get booed out of the building.
What if Brock returns and just does them all in?
I hope he beats Kofi in 5 seconds.
Alright, cool. Right. Let's move on to Mania predictions. Just as an FYI, we're not going to give a full speech on these.
No, we're not. We're just going to give
one name.
Yeah, we'll give a reason why.
No.
But no reason. No, we're going to give a reason why.
I want to do quick fire.
We'll do quick fire, but we're going to give reasons why. Alright? So opening
one sentence.
Opening night 1, Gunther versus Jey Uso. Who do you want to win, and who do you think's winning?
I want Jey, and I think Jey.
I want Gunther, and unfortunately, I think Jey's gonna win.
Jey needs to win.
Gunther should kill him.
Yeah, it can go either way. It really can.
I would want him to kill him.
Well, that's a bit mean.
Well, no, I would like him to not.
Rikishi will sit on you, man.
I don't care about Rikishi.
If you're watching, I'll give full permission for you to eat my brother.
Gunther should kill him. We're going to go on an absolute tear.
I would like to see it, but let's face facts, Jey's winning.
Okay.
Moving on.
The War Raiders versus the New Day.
If it was a ladder match...
Oh, here we go.
I think, and I genuinely do think Big E is going to come back.
Okay.
And I genuinely believe that he's going to turn heel with the New Day.
Really? That's a banging idea.
I think it's going to have us fooled. I know they beat the shit out of him and whatever. Yeah. They turned on him. But I like the story. This is just my opinion, so whatever. I like the idea of the New Day getting inside Big E's head, siding with the New Day to help them win the titles, and then it's a heel trio.
I like that.
And I genuinely think that might happen.
I'm just going to put it out there. There's 0% chance the War Raiders win this match.
Well, yeah.
This has been put on the card based off of the fact.
Yeah, New Day are winning the
Big E returning, right? Or something happening. I like that idea. I really like that idea.
And I think it's because everyone's expecting Big E comes and costs New Day, right?
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a swerve.
We've also got a lack of factions at the moment. You could have New Day just run raw.
And Big E can't wrestle now.
Big E can go for a world title.
He can't wrestle anymore.
No, but I think that's what people are expecting, though, isn't it?
No, but there's a manager.
Do you think he's going to come back as a manager?
Yeah, why not?
I think he's coming back to wrestle.
Well, look, fingers crossed.
I hope so.
Moving on. So we agreed. Well, I'm Jey. I'm New Day.
I'll have it pop up on screen. I'll have pictures of him.
Oh, okay, cool.
Rey Mysterio versus El Grande Americano.
Rey Fenix.
Yeah, I don't think Rey's... if Rey wrestles, I will go Rey wins. Pretty much, I think...
El Grande's losing.
Chad Gable's losing. Sorry.
He's not on the card, Al.
El Grande Americano.
Kayfabe is real, damn it!
Yeah. El Grande's going to lose.
El Grande's going to lose. It's going to be demasked,
yes.
And it's not going to be El Grande. There's going to be a minute where he goes underneath the ring or something, and then he comes back out, gets unmasked, and it's not him.
Okay.
And then I changed my answer. I think El Grande's going to win. Okay. And I think that's the way it's going to happen.
I think he's going to lose, and I think when he gets unmasked, we're all going to think it's Chad Gable. I don't think it's going to be Chad Gable.
No, but I think that's going to happen during the match. Me personally.
I think they'll find a body.
So who are you going with, Rey?
No, Whoever's against El Grande.
Yeah. So you go El Grande last.
Yes.
I'm going El Grande win.
Yeah.
And I genuinely think that I've just thought of that now. That might happen. There'll be a minute in the match.
Yeah.
He's off screen. He's under the ring.
Yeah.
And a new El Grande comes out.
Yeah.
Rey will demask him, or whoever is fighting will go, what? Yeah. You're not Chad Gable. And then El Grande will come in from behind from the other side of the ring.
Okay.
Roll up, 1, 2, 3, bosh.
Okay.
And then maybe even reveal himself to be Chad after that. Who knows? But
maybe. I think it's probably just going to be a moment for Chad to be like unmasked. He's like,
yeah.
Shush.
But that's So you're Rey. So that's the first.
If Rey isn't wrestling, who's stepping in?
Rey Fenix.
Yeah, I agree.
Or Dragon Lee, but Rey Fenix.
Rey Fenix. Yeah. Right. Give him a Mania match.
Next one.
Jade Cargill versus Naomi.
Next. I don't really care.
Who do you think's winning?
Naomi will lose to Jade Cargill.
Okay, all right. You have me for a second.
I don't know. I genuinely could, because Naomi.
It's Jade's first proper big feud.
I know, but Naomi's big heel turn needs to be cemented with a win.
I get it.
But then.
I think Jade's just going to win.
You go Jade, I'll go Naomi next.
Okay. LA Knight versus Jacob Fatu.
Yeah! Jacob.
You go Jacob?
Jacob all day long.
I'm going LA Knight.
Ooh.
I think Solo Sikoa is going to accidentally cost Jacob
Fatu. Can't have run-ins in every match, though, can
It's not run-ins in every match. It's only 2 so far.
Okay.
But I think
that's 3 because of El Grande.
I think he's accidentally going to cost him, and then I think Jacob Fatu is going to kill Solo Sikoa,
Nice.
That'll be the feud.
I like it.
Yeah.
I think Jacob's going to win. I'll be part of the Rock's new stable.
I think LA is going to be one of the only people to retain his title.
Let's see. I like LA Knight.
Tiffany Stratton versus Charlotte Flair.
Stratton.
Flair always wins.
Right.
Always wins.
Fair enough. Look, you've got my opinion on it. Stratton should win, but I think she will. I think she will. I think Stratton wins.
I think there's a reason.
I think Becky Lynch comes back.
I think there's a reason they're not letting this open, and I think there's a reason they've put it just before the main event. I think Flair's winning. I think if it was opening...
To piss people off.
Because I think they know it's going to trigger every single fan.
And then at least the big thing in the
Flair will hold for a year. Flair's going to have a historic title. She'll hold until she retires. No, I'm joking.
Well, the sooner the fucking better. Sorry, Charlotte Flair.
And then,
right, go on then. Next.
The night one main event. Seth, Roman, Punk.
This is why I like the build for the build for this, yeah.
Okay.
Because I genuinely do not know. And my answer will be Punk. Punk wins.
That's really interesting. I'm in two minds, right? I don't know, because my head's saying Punk, right? And I think Rollins and Reigns are going to get pissed off at each other. Another part of me saying Rollins. So, in my head, Rollins is going to win if he has no interference with the Night 2 main event. I can see a world that if Seth Rollins loses, he comes out in the Night 2 main event and costs Cody the title. Because I like the idea of the fact of he was Cody's shield in 40.
Nice.
And he's the one to take it away from him at WrestleMania 41.
Ooh.
Aligning with The Rock. He keeps saying best for business.
Yeah.
I think we might see Rollins.
Okay.
So the
Rollins costs Rhodes.
And I think you may see double champs. I think Rollins may take the title off Jay.
Nice.
Yeah.
I
So
like that.
I'm going to go with a
You're
CM
going with
Punk
CM Punk win as well.
Nice.
Nice.
I'm hoping for the Night 2 scenario.
I quite like that. Wicked. Well, Night 2 then.
So Night 2, we're kicking off with Io Sky, Bianca Belair, Rhea Ripley.
Io to retain.
I'm going Io. I think they're building up the story of she's just been pushed in the background.
Yeah.
She's going to overcome, shock everyone.
I hope so. I think so. Let's move on.
Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez versus Bayley and Lila Valkyria.
Didn't even know that was on the card. Didn't even know
when
that
I was
on
reading
the
it,
card.
I was like, really? So hold on, didn't Bayley and Valkyria have a match for the IC title like 2 weeks ago?
I did see them cuddling actually, so maybe that's the...
What a So this is on the cards, but the SmackDown Tag Team titles aren't. Are you having a laugh?
Listen, right.
There's a TLC match that's not on the card. I'm sorry, but this is bullshit.
I go with Valkyria double champ.
I don't get Liv Morgan.
Right, move on.
What the fuck? AJ Styles versus Logan Paul.
Oh, now I think this is going to be great, and I think Logan Paul's going to win.
Logan Paul has overstayed his welcome.
No, he hasn't. No, he hasn't.
He has.
Not
He's
even.
overstayed his welcome.
He's a full-time worker soon.
He's not a full-time worker.
Soon, I say.
He comes back, has a match with someone that needs a match, disappears, comes back, has a match with someone that needs a match,
he was a US champ,
disappears. He's a US champ for what, 9 months? 2 title defences.
Logan Paul started out here, where we are right now, and now he's in the main event of Mania.
I don't care. He is.
No, he's not.
In an industry, I think he would have worked under Vince, but in a WWE where you storytell. I'm sorry, in a WWE where you're doing storytelling, he has no story.
Yeah, but he has to. He's green, man. He's new. He still needs to build.
He's new. He's been around for what? How many Manias has he done now?
3 or 4.
This is his third, isn't it? 39 versus Rollins was his third. No, Miz and Logan Paul.
Yeah.
But like, he's been around enough now. He should be doing something that isn't just random match versus AJ Styles, where AJ Styles is obviously.
He's a busy boy, though, isn't he?
AJ's winning. Logan's winning.
That's fine. I go Logan, you go AJ.
You've gone Logan.
Yeah.
Christ.
Brock Lesnar runs in and kills them both.
Speaking of Brock Lesnar, we've got his prototype, Braun Breaker, in the Fatal 4-Way as the next card.
Yeah.
Balor, Breaker, Penta, Mysterio.
Well, I'm in a few minds about this, because everyone... I really like the build for this, and I think any one of them could win, other than Breaker.
I'm happy with all of them winning.
Yeah, I'm happy with all of them winning. I really would like to see Balor get a title, but I think Dom's going to win. I'm going to go with Dom.
I've been thinking Dom. However, with the recent news of Randy Orton announcing that he's having a match on the card, not knowing who it is, if that wasn't going to happen, I'd have said the new Judgment Day member would have helped Dom win by pinning Balor.
Okay.
Now that's not happening. I'm going to go with Penta
winning
the Intercontinental title.
I hope Penta wins. Penta's my favourite.
Penta, because Triple H loves him as well.
Yeah, no,
and he's over with the fans. I can just see him holding it till SummerSlam, losing it to someone.
2 nights at SummerSlam this year.
2 nights at SummerSlam this year.
Yeah. What's next?
Damian Priest versus Drew McIntyre.
Yeah, Drew wins.
Drew wins.
Yeah, next. Yeah, easy as that, he wins.
The next one's Randy Orton versus TBA.
Right.
So we got.
I'll let you go first on who you think it's going to be.
Well, Aleister Black is being rumoured to be on the SmackDown after Mania.
Yeah, he's already out of the question.
Yes. Which leaves one person who's been in the rumour mill.
In the Rusev mill, baby!
Rusev mill. Now, my question to you, is he going to come out on a tank?
No. Will Lana be with him?
No. Do you think it's going to be Rusev?
I think it will be.
Really?
In my head, yeah, I really want it to just be Nick Aldis.
It could be.
I really want it to be, because it makes sense.
It's going to be a moment, so I think there's 4 names on the table, and I don't want to speak about a potential fake injury, but there is a world where Kevin Owens still answers the challenge and kills Orton.
I think there's going to be like a tease where Nick Aldis music hits, and he comes out, and he brings someone but then he introduces
similar to the new
someone who's going to and it's going to be Rusev.
Do you think Rusev?
And I think Rusev's going to fucking kill him.
So this is where we're going to differ. I don't think they're going to bring someone back, because I think they have to give Randy a win. When he hasn't beaten anyone.
I know you touched about this, but Randy's just got. Neither did Cena. Right? Look where Cena is now in the main event. Most spoken about. He didn't win a match on pay-per-view for 5 years or so.
But there's a difference. Orton's been regularly on TV losing. Yeah. Whereas Cena, he had like 4 or 5 matches in that time. And I think more people are talking about the Randy
But
loss.
It's easy to make Orton big again. He doesn't need a win at Mania, depending on who it is.
So you think Rusev?
I think if it's Rusev wins. Okay. If it's Aldis, Orton wins.
Okay,
but for now, for the predictions, I'm going with TBA.
No,
vacant.
Prediction, who do you think's coming out?
Rusev.
And who do you think's winning?
Rusev.
Okay.
Come on, we've still got to get to this week in wrestling history. So by the time we get there, this podcast will be this week in wrestling history.
I'm going to go Nick Aldis.
To come out and face him.
To face him.
Nice.
And I think Randy will squash him.
Yeah. Undertaker. What? Right, next.
It's the main event.
What, Road Cena?
Road Cena.
I don't want to talk about this too much. We've already spoke about it. Cena wins.
Cena wins with the help of Seth Rollins aligning himself. They close the show with The Rock, Rollins and Cena as a new mega faction.
Nice.
And just to put this out there, I think Rollins is going to be the one to retire Cena at the end of the year.
Next segment is something that we're going to run every week, right? It's something quick, something easy. Alfie is still quite new to old wrestling, if you like. You don't know anything about it, let's face facts. Every week we're going to have I'm going to explain something to him that happened this week in wrestling history. Firstly, starting today, 19th of April, 2009.
I don't know why I've laughed.
16 years ago, you was...
Oh God, 5?
5 years old. I was a hell of a lot older.
Yeah.
While you were running around in your underpants.
I can't even remember when I was 5.
I was drinking beer, watching this event, which was TNA Lockdown, 2009.
They had COVID back then?
No. Lockdown was great premise. And back in the day, TNA used to have a 6-sided ring.
Yep.
Hexagonal, which was great. It was unique. A lot of wrestlers hated it, really hated it. But it worked. It was a unique selling point for them. Lockdown, the premise was every single match was held inside a steel cage.
Okay.
Or 6 sides of steel is what they called it. That event had something pretty crazy, for lack of a better term, in that the main event was Sting, legend, versus Mick Foley for the World Heavyweight title.
Ooh.
Mick Foley was probably about 10 years retired. I think the match itself leading in,
been well old.
The build was that Mick Foley had been retired for so long, coming out. Does he still have it? Who would he be? Would he be Mick Foley? Would he be Cactus Jack? That was the idea. I remember at the time watching it, because TNA in 2009 was massive. Yeah. It was just before Hulk Hogan came in and ruined it with Bishop. Yeah. Right, which is something, again, we will look into in the future, and I'll teach you about that. Mm-hmm. 2009 was great. The main event at the time, I never expected Mick Foley to be entrusted with being their world champion. I do believe, thinking back... He won.
Mick Foley won?
Mick Foley...
Beat Sting.
Who
was probably their biggest star at the time.
Yeah.
For the world title. After being retired for 10 years.
Yes.
Roughly. Mick Foley. Jesus.
Thoughts?
Interesting. I feel like that's a bit like, I don't know, Goldberg coming back and then winning.
Exactly. Exactly, yeah. Exactly that.
Did it go well with the fans?
No.
I'm not surprised.
Didn't go well with me. I can't speak for everybody. Yeah, if you do remember it, let me know.
Because it's a cool match.
The match itself wasn't as bad as you might expect. Because it was a bit bizarre that Foley, he was a babyface.
Yeah.
As was Sting. Mm-hmm. Foley, however, I don't know if Sting was babyface. Pretty sure. Can't remember. Foley took it upon himself to act very heelish in that match. But it kind of worked. Foley was one of the best ever in my heart.
Did he come out as a WWE character?
It's more Cactus Jack. None of his characters are WWE. No, I mean, he was ECW before.
Was he?
WWE. Mankind is a WWE or F character.
Yeah, I know that's...
Yeah, like with a mask.
What about Dude Love?
Dude Love as well, yeah.
Yeah.
But Cactus Jack and Mick Foley, Mick Foley's him.
Yep.
Cactus Jack is where he made his name in ECW. Okay. Mankind was majorly successful in WWE.
Yeah.
We will talk about that as well in the future
where he won the WWF title.
When he won the title from The Rock.
All the WCW fans went over to WWE.
Yeah, there we go. So your knowledge is there. Probably never seen it.
No,
if you want to talk about the biggest... I think it was The Rock. One of the biggest pops in wrestling crowd history.
Yeah.
That's the match we watched.
First.
And one thing that we're going to do, and this is mainly for our Patreon guys, people who are supporting us, we're going to react, and I'm going to get Alfie to live react to old matches. That will be one that we look at.
Yeah.
And trust me, you will want to go back and watch the complete 4 or 5 months build up after.
Was it his first world title?
First world title. And you'll also then want to watch the Royal Rumble that followed, where The Rock and Mankind again competed for that title. Sorry to interrupt you.
I've not seen a Royal Rumble pre-2012.
Wow.
So I've watched all of the ones from 2014.
You don't even know
I've seen 2013s. I've seen like the ones they've uploaded on YouTube. I've seen which one was it when Michaels got eliminated and he went mental? Was it 2010 Edge one?
Oh, when
was it Edge one?
Possibly
Batista? One of them.
But I think Batista eliminated him.
It was like Edge, Batista, Michaels, Cena as like the final four.
Yeah, I think Batista.
I've seen that one as well. None of the
That's rest. When he wanted to face Undertaker.
Yeah,
mainly.
None of the rest.
But yeah, so Mick Foley, 2009 world champion.
That's ridiculous.
And that was this week in wrestling's history. Very successful first episode.
It was very good. I'm looking forward to doing this again. Probably we'll make one just after the second night of Mania, right?
Yeah. I think Monday.
Monday
morning.
Released.
We won't look this handsome. We won't look this.
We will be half dead because if you can't realise, we are British.
And we will be hanging.
Yeah, we will be staying up till 4 a.m.
5.
Is it 5?
9 hours of wrestling.
Oh, mate. 5.
That'll be about 4:30, 5.
Oh, and then we're going to be celebrating John Cena getting his 17th world title.
Yes, we are.
Yeah. At the hands of Seth Rollins.
Bold.
I hope you enjoyed the episode.
Yes, thank you so much, guys, for watching.
We'll see you in the next one.
Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, comment. Please comment, man. We want to interact with you guys.
We want to know who you think's walking out of Night 2 as WWE champ.
Also, one thing that we are going to introduce, and I hope you're okay with this, is every week I want to introduce a quiz to people who listen. And the winner of that quiz will get something. We promise we will send you merchandise, whether it's our own or official WWE shop merchandise, up to a certain amount. We will speak with the winner prior and agree on a price, and then send or let them know.
And what's the question this week?
The question would be, between night 1 and night 2, what will the combined attendance of WrestleMania be this weekend?
What are you going to go with?
98.
I don't know the attendance of the stadium.
Neither do I.
It's in Vegas, yeah?
It's Vegas. Actually, I think about 120 on the dot.
I reckon 133,000.
133. You might win the shirt if we get no comments.
Yeah, sure. We probably won't get any comments.
No. Listen, look, thank you guys. Let us know. The winner to the nearest number will receive up to £50 worth of merchandise with WWE shop.
Yeah.
Alright? Mm-hmm. Agreed?
We'll see you in the next one.
Take it easy, my code breakers.